So next we work with VRS. So here VRS here this is also this is also user defined type, which is used to store multiple data items into single unit. Observe this one. This point is common for each and every collection. Okay, because of each and every collection is having the same functionality. Okay, and but before we are storing actual data, we must initialize the data while using constructor. So this constructor is introduced in nested tables. Okay, in index by table we don't have the constructor option, and these user defined types stored permanently into database while using SQL. Okay, so what are the types we are stored in database? Nested tables and VRS. We can't possible to store the index by table. Okay, so then basically we are using this VRS for retrieving the fuse data. Fuse data means large, means a lot of records we want to retrieve at a time in a specific mechanism. So at the time we want to go for the VRS. So for each and every, suppose if you want to go for the small data, so we don't have that much of data. At the time we don't want to go for VRS. Say example, very simple example here. Suppose if you want to move some items into some other location. Okay, very simple example. I have only 10 items. I want to move these 10 items while using simple vehicle. Okay, simple vehicle who are possible to transport the 10 items only. For that 10 items, we are not possible to choose the large vehicles. Means a fuse vehicle which are capable to maintain to transfer 100 items, right? So because of it is a burden, right? High expenses. So in the same manner, whenever we are going to understand what are the means how much data we'll want to transfer into the means one location to another location. Say example, it is a fuse data. Then only we can go for the VRS. For particular process, we can use the VRS. Whenever we are going to analyze, okay, the data is coming from fuse from the another system. So in this point of time, we can go to use the VRS for better performance. And here, observe this one. For this VRS, we have a means syntax is type name. It is a common is VRA. Type name is VRA and of data type. Which data type you want to choose, either number or character or date or else predefined data types. Okay, and next here again we have the constructor. The constructor is common, but here observe this one. What is the difference between this VRS and nested tables? In that here we clearly specify it is a VRA, but in nested tables, table of. Okay, we are using table of, but here we are using VRA. That is the difference only. But it is also stored in our database. Nested table also stored in our database. It is also moving into the multiple items into single unit. That is also same thing, multiple items into single unit. But this respected VRS is having the future is it is used to possible to transfer fuse data. Okay, it is processed to fuse data. That is the main difference between nested table and VRS. Clear, all of you? So here just I am going to retrieve the data from table and will be move the for loop and finally will be print it, right? Just I am going to develop a program while using this VRS. here I want to develop a program. Okay, first type, yeah, sorry, declare type name is v array of, then here we specify the size, v array of size. So we are going to specify the size, suppose example 50, and then we can specify the respected data type, okay, of emp, so which is the table, okay, whether you can use the predefined data types or number or varchar 2 or date. Now I want to use the predefined data type. Okay, next we define the variable and assign our type and will be assigned the constructor, then only it is valid, otherwise it is invalid. So we array format, it is generate the array format. Next we start the begin, so select start bulk collect into v1 from m for I in v1 dot first dot v1 dot last, loop vbms output put line. So here we can specify v1 of I dot emp number. v1 of I dot ename. Just I want to choose only 2 columns. Finally, we close it. Then end loop and the photo. Let us check it. But here we are not getting any trouble, we don't get any error also. Just instead of that table type, we are going to choose the VRS. Same program, I am going to change this table of EMP percentage row type. Okay, now it is become as a nested table. It is a nested table, right? We don't get any difference, right? Just instead of that syntax, we change it to the VRS. But a nested table is possible to retrieve the any data, but if your VRS will be used to retrieve the fused data. That is the difference. And also we want to understand what is the difference between each and other two collections indexed by table. It is not stored permanently into the database, but this it is stored permanently in database by using SQL. It is stored permanently in database by using SQL. We cannot add remove indexes in index by table. Thus we can add or remove indexes using extend trim method. Already I showed you yesterday, right? And VRS we can add or remove indexes using extend or trim method, same mechanism. So which is the mechanism is there in nested table, the same mechanism is applicable in VRS. And indexes starting from negative or positive number and also having key value pairs. Already we worked on that. So character, numbers, positive numbers, negative numbers. Indexes started from 1. Here also starting from 1. Why? Because we didn't specify any one variable will be assigned the value for index by table and VRS. Directly it is started the indexes from 1. That is the main reason. Constructor. Constructor means it is a valid, means it is an option. So it is a syntax. But the default it is started from 1. But index by table we are going to specify. We want to specify whether it is a 1 or whether it is a character or whether it is a positive number, whether it is a negative number, that will be there. But here directly it is started from 1. That is the use of that. And here each and every time I told you these respected tables are stored in nested tables and VRS are stored in database. How it will be stored here? Observe this one. This is the actual type, right? So here create type name. Just I'm going to create type name. Okay, now I save this one. Name is already used to another object. Observe this one. Okay, now I'm going to suppose say example T1909. Okay, just that is my type name, right? Type created with the compilation error. Maybe some errors is occurred here. So why? Because EMP table. So EMP table, suppose if you created this type, you can use the type when we are using the EMP table only. In our program logic, whenever we develop the program, we want to use this type. But in that program, we can if you use the EMP table only, we can use this type. If you are not using the EMP table, you can use another table. This type does not possible to use it. Have you understand that? Okay, it is a database object, right? Whenever it is required, we can use it. But at the time, we definitely use the which table? EMP only. So that is the reason. Then here, what we do? Better to varchar 2 of whatever it may be. Okay. Type is created. So here observe this one. Earlier version, we are not possible to store this type in our database. So basically, what are the database objects in SQL? In SQL only. Tables, views, synonyms, cluster, indexes, sequences. In PLSQL, so procedure, functions, triggers, packages, along with type. Along with type. Type is also database object. Type is also database object. This is the future. Okay. Yeah, data type. So now we can use this type in any program. We don't want to specify each and every time in this level here. Here I define type, right? I don't want to use this one directly. I can use that type. I will show you. You can get the clarity. Here, observe this one. I don't want to define that type. Okay. What is our type name? T1909. This is my type, right? Something like that. I don't want to define the type each and every time in my program. Already I created. Now I am using that. So here we have a problem is we are using EMP table here, then maybe it is not supported that. So for that purpose, what we do, we can create the type while using our respective table. The same type will be using in our any program. So here what happened in this point of time? 1 second. How we create the type? Varchar 2. Okay. If you want to create the EMP, then we can use it. It is nothing but a predefined type. When we are created, automatically it is available in our database. Have we called it or not?
Yes.
Then that is the thing I am going to done here. Right? All of you. So in the same manner here, observe this one. I create a nested table. In the same manner, VRS VT1 is V array of suppose 100 of varchar 2 of 100. Clear? Say example here what happened means in real life we develop so many programs. Okay, so many programs. Each and every program we don't want to possible to create the same type. We can create one type. That type will be using in each and every program. We can refer that only. So automatically our time is reduced or not. So that is the reason. Okay, so it is also database object, but we cannot possible to store the permanently in our database while what is that, index by table. Index by table we cannot possible to store it, right? So once here I will show you. Is it table of varchar 2 of 10 100 index by binary integer. Okay. Index by type created with compilation error. So say example here we can't possible to create it, means we can't possible to, if it is created but we cannot use it. So because of that powers does not have. Okay, but we can possible to store it only index by table and nested table. Maybe this version will be going to applicable for this future also. I don't know clear that much of knowledge, but definitely we can store it nested tables and VRS. Maybe the peoples are introduce that future and will be save the same nested tables in our database also. We can possible to do that. But the future means the advanced of the nested tables is, sorry, the advanced of the index by table is nested table. If in case we cannot possible to achieve the requirement while using nested tables, then we can go for the VRS. That is the use it. But whenever we are using the collection methods, we definitely use the bulk mechanism. Without using bulk mechanism, we cannot possible to work on the collections. If you don't have the knowledge on bulk mechanism, you cannot possible to use the collections. That is the reason. Bulk mechanism means bulk syntaxes. Okay. So first you can do the practice on this same program with multiple logics. The next we work with the bulk mechanism. Okay. Yeah. It is a simple one.